Well, I mean, the Grand Ole Opry is now a new thing that it used to, from my understanding, it used to be the Ryman Auditorium.
Yep.
Now they moved it out to the county, and it's kind of like, I think the building was made in the 2000s. It's newer. It's not like the original Opry. So this is the reason I have this as my background is because tonight, Wednesday, I am going to see my one, if not my favorite comedian of all time, definitely top 3. Louis C.K. is playing at the Grand Ole Opry House tonight. So your boy's got tickets. It's gonna be a fucking awesome show. He's definitely
hopefully he doesn't beat his dick off in front of you, make you watch.
Is it safe to say
maybe he will, and I get to pay extra for that? You know, that's like the VIP level package. You know what I mean?
He's not cancelable. He defeated cancellation. He's playing the Ryman. He's playing the Grand Ole Opry.
Yeah, but I feel like there's no promotion for him anymore. Like,
and no one's gonna give him a TV show.
He's all self-promoted.
He's still canceled. Like, I still feel like he's like, I would say he is like king of Cancelville. Like
one of the things that he was able to
show.
Yeah. One of the things he was able to do, which is like unheard of in the entertainment industry, is he was able to actually buy his show Louis from FX. So he owns Louis, like, in the rights to syndicate it. So the only place you can watch Louis is if you go to his website and buy it through there. And
dude, that show was not cool. Like, I really tried hard to like that show. I love Louis C.K.
I thought the first 2 seasons were pretty. I thought the first 2 seasons were pretty.
And I love
it. It did kind of fall off.
My like favorite. I out of all of the specials I've ever watched, probably the most is his one where, you know, he's talking about like the deer being shitty animals or whatever. Like that's the stand. That's the out of any stand up special I've never watched it more. Like one more than that. That's my all time. I mean, it's maybe not my all time favorite, but it's like definitely my all time. I guess my most watched for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just it's just such a good one, and it never got old, and it was one of those ones that still stands up today. I mean, you know, I don't know if the N-word stuff, that stuff always kind of made me a little cringe. Like, even though you kind of got like where he was coming from, like the joke, you're like, yeah, that makes sense. It was just kind of like, you find out when he's beating his dick off in front of people and making them watch, and he's kind of weird. It's kind of like maybe he had too many demons and maybe too many skeletons in his closet. Yeah, throwing the N-word into his specials, you know.
I always think it's like when I think of jokes, like how comedians do that kind of stuff, I always think of it as it's comedy you can only do once you're an established comic. Like, no guy on an open mic on the first night could do Louis C.K.'s bit, and not because it's not as funny, but because you don't have.
Just say the fucking word. Everybody's like, "What the fuck is this guy just?" What the fuck did he just
I tried and I bombed spectacularly.
Oh my god!
My one time doing
you did stand up.
I did open mic twice. I told myself I could not continue to live unless I knew what it was like to do stand up at least one time.
You got balls, dude.
You have more guts than me. I've always wanted to do it, but never fucking was able to.
I'm a funny guy, and I never will do it.
So I did it twice. The Blue Room down here in Springfield, which is like the local comedy club, they have open mics. The first night, you know, it's like first night, you know, you're gonna bomb. It's not gonna be good. It's your first time doing it. You're gonna be nervous. You just thought of these, like, just enough material to fill like 3 minutes. And it's not, you know, you've rehearsed it in your head, but you've never worked it out in front of a crowd. You know it's gonna suck. So I told myself, if I'm gonna bomb, it's gonna be a beautiful explosion that I'm gonna at least enjoy.
So you did rehearse,
huh?
You did rehearse, like you did.
Like, yeah, like
I mean, you got to practice it a little bit.
Driving in my car, I tried to go over it. Yeah. I wrote, you know, a little bit of material. And
how fucking nervous were you on the way there?
Dude, I'm like shaking just hearing the story.
No, insanely nervous.
Nerves for you.
Insanely nervous. So I go to, you know, I write my name down, and I know I'm gonna bomb, so I get really drunk on vodka Red Bulls.
Did you use your real name?
Yeah.
You didn't have a stage. You didn't have a stage name.
I went up there. I had
the Laugh Factory.
I already had a bunch of vodka Red Bulls. I had another PBR on me that I brought to the stage, set it on the stool. Yes, and I went into a bit. Do you remember the Super Bowl commercial where the guys they robbed a bank and their getaway car was a Prius and it never ran out of gas, so they kept crossing the state lines and they kept going back coast to coast?
Yeah.
Well, my bit, it was dark.
Actually, a good commercial.
Where I was like, I said, you know, it was basically, notice that they're all just white guys. If it was black guys, that commercial would have ended very differently. And so I was enacting that, like they were checking out the sound system, turn it up. Oh, turn the bass up. That's a good sounding sound. And then I took that microphone and I slapped it against my chest like they were getting riddled with bullets by the police. and the crowd died. And I heard one person laughing in the back, and it was the black guy working the fucking soundboard.
Dude, that
I said that was for you, and I got off stage.
That's awesome, dude.
It was the Patrice O'Neal school of, I want all these people horrified, but I want you dying laughing.
Yeah, dude, that's all the justification you needed. Like, fuck everyone here. My man back there.
That's why I was like, if I'm gonna bomb, I know I'm gonna bomb. So let's make it a fucking incredible, memorable bomb.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. So yeah, that's incredible. So that was the first time?
The first time. The second time I went there, a little more polished up. I had a really good bit about Lazy Town and how it was like very Muslim parallel.
Jesus Christ, you love the race humor, dude. That surprises me.
They find out he's a freedom fighter when he gets off stage too. That's even the wilder thing. It's like when he's not all hyped up on fun alcohol. He's out here fucking.
Stu had one guy in camo come up to him after the show and say, "Hell yeah, brother!" And he's like, "Oh no,
Stuart's
they didn't know I was being ironic."
That's why Stuart didn't go back a third time.
Yeah, he's like,
the second time I jumped off the front of the stage. I sat down. I sat on the stage. I looked at the front of the crowd with a microphone, and I told them all to check their privilege.
Dude, fucking
if you don't believe me, talk to Mike Evans. He was there.
That's incredible. The best stand-up story though we have is, and I'm not gonna say his name. So, but our front office's brother has done stand-up. So he went to school to be like he went to like comedy school kind of thing. You know, he's kind of like a improv college. And I think he he dated some broad at one point that was like who wrote a script for Netflix, you know, like just that type of shit. But I could get some of this wrong. I mean, our front office can jump in if you know, kind of correct me on some of this. But all I know is that he gets up in front of. I assume this was somewhere in Georgia is where this happened. But he got up on stage, and I guess this probably wasn't his first time doing this. I think this is a place he had been going for a few days or like a few times, whatever. And he gets on stage and he starts telling his jokes. And if you don't know him, like he's going to push the boundaries. He doesn't really have a filter either. And I guess he started getting into some pretty religious shit.
In Georgia?
But he didn't know, but he didn't realize, and no one told him before he got on stage that the entire crowd, it was like a church night. So there was like, so there were nuns.
That's so fucking awesome.
Like, not nuns, but I don't know. Maybe they're nuns, but there were like, it was like all these church people like in the audience. So no one clapped or no one laughed because they were all like mortified at what this dude is saying.
Was it like all clean comics before him? Probably.
I don't, dude. I don't think
so. So from the way he tells the story, it's not like everything before that was necessarily like clean or whatnot. It was just they didn't like poke the Catholic.
They didn't go down. Yeah, they didn't go down that.
You know
they didn't go down that street.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So when he did it, and long story short, he cannot do can't do comedy there ever again.
He got blacklisted.
He got blacklisted from that place.
I actually don't know. Is that true?
I thought he was.
It very well could have been.
I thought that was like the catch to it, is that he couldn't come back.
I know that it was bad.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I thought they either asked him to leave or but there was something at the end of like he was either asked to leave. So maybe he was just asked to leave. But
we'll fact check. We'll
fact check. But for the sake of the story, just for like our numbers, people listen to that, just to drive us through to pass Joe Rogan this week. We're gonna say that he, which we're gonna get to that. He's blacklisted from comedy. So, and we're not talking about you, Joe, not yet, motherfucker. But we got a bone to pick with you after our guy puts this little dubby sauce down. We got a little chitty chat with you. So it turns out that Joey Rogan is a Pop Culture Rehab fan. The guy's out here fucking dudes out here watching.
He's a prolific plagiarizer, apparently.
Dude.
He's a plagiarizer. He's a pilferer.
Stuart, enough of me. he stole Stewart's shit. So it's like my ass is dry. My ass has got that little. It's like moist, like a little dog's nose. Stewart's the one getting spit roasted. So you tell him.
and look how the tables have turned too. Because look at the Carlos Mencia shit in the Joe Rogan. Now it's Joe Rogan stealing stuff. Stu, tell him what he stole from the king.
Joe Rogan.
Comedy.
He built a career on calling out Carlos Mencia, on calling out Dane Cook, on calling out Saturday Night Live for pilfering jokes from other comedians. Well, I mean, I don't want to get into it. We released a statement.
You fucking HGH needle.
It's kind of the pot calling the kettle black, right?
Yeah, and it was verbatim. It was really he didn't. The thing about these successful comedians is that they know that they have this power, they have this influence, and they want to intimidate you into not saying anything.
Jesus Christ.
If it's intellectual property, and if we went to court with him, it would be tied up for years, and he would bleed us dry. We're not rich people.
We'd be broke. Yeah, dude.
But I will stand here on my little soapbox and I'll say, hey, Joe Rogan, go fuck yourself. Yeah.
I mean, can we? Yeah. Before we do this, front office, can we get a solo cam? Can we throw my man up here?
Let him have it.
No, I'm not mad. I'm
disappointed.
I'm really just disappointed.
Why don't you tell the audience the joke in question that he stole?
Well, before you do that, repeat Joe Rogan. Go fuck yourself. Say that again. You're on big, nice and big.
Yeah,
I'll get to that. But I mean,
okay.
we were talking about cum. Okay,
of course.
A
frequent topic on this podcast.
A frequent topic about bodily fluids. And we both, the subject of black lights on sheets came up. He repeated a line that I had made back in October, referencing a Jackson Pollock painting. Pretty deep.
Disgusting.
And it's so specific that, I have no choice but to say, Joe, go fuck yourself. That's all I got to say about that. I'm disappointed. I'm not angry. I'm disappointed.
And here's the thing too. If you want to know the joke, we're not going to play it because this is going on YouTube, and we know he's going to fuck us. The moment we show a clip of Joe Rogan, we're all getting a tremor in our ass. So we're not going to do it. But if you want to go to our Instagram, we didn't put on Twitter because we'll put it on Twitter here in a little bit, but it's on Instagram. The joke is there. It's on TikTok.
Instagram.
Side by sides there. You can hear the joke. I mean, it's fucking pretty word for word. So Joe, you better hope we don't show up. If you had a show somewhere in the Midwest, we might hop up on that bitch like you did to Mencia, and it might just be a 3-on-1 onslaught.
Joe knows what's coming. He knows.
I don't want to pick this fight though, because we know that
your boy.
Because we know that he has this cult of misinformation. He has this legion of fans that will definitely go to bat for him, whether he's right or wrong. And so I'm expecting a blowback here. I'm not excited about it, but we'll weather the storm. Like I said, we're the little guy here in the fight, but we've got a lot of heart. And so again, I'll stand here firm on my 2 feet and let you know, hey, I'm not happy with your decisions here, Joe.
Dude.
If he starts popping off about going to Epstein Island, then we'll know for sure he's listening.
Yeah.
And then we'll have him dead to rights.
Yeah, dude. Seriously, don't get beat up, Joe. Like seriously, don't do it. Like don't do it. And honestly, I mean, we're gonna do a fight companion one of these days, even though you don't do it anymore, and we're gonna take it right out of your boy Brendan Schaub's hands. So, leave it.
We got it.
The Gringo Poppy is the funniest comedian. And you know what I said? My top 5. I think Brendan Schaub is in my top 3. Gringo Poppy special, dude.
Gringo Poppy,
dude.
You can watch it. You can watch it. Think about it. You can watch it 3 times in an hour.
Dude,
or 2.5 times in an hour. Like it's so cool. Dude. Like you could literally watch it twice. I mean,
what's so cool about that special too is that it's 30 minutes, but every joke is cut into like 3-second fragments because they had to piece like 12 shows together to make like one coherent.
The laugh track's the best. Like
and all the ums.
The best part's like there's people dying laughing, and you see like the first 2 or 3 rows, and no one's laughing,
and nobody's moving. Like their arms are. It just doesn't work.
Yeah, like it's just like
so
damn.
Bad.
It's funny that
your comedy career it is what it is, but at least you never had to resort to using a laugh track or having to hand out free tickets and stuff like that. Well, maybe you did
Dude,
that.
buy was it 4 for $25 or whatever it was? Like, dude, just the fucking fattest.
They were giving
most
free
Reddit
admissions,
stuff.
but you had to like definitely buy 2 drinks. Like,
Couple canned goods.
Yeah, you had to
Yeah,
bring
no.
in. You had to bring the Scholastic box tops from the fucking. cereal.
Well, I got a buddy of mine, Robbie, who is a Joe Rogan head. So when we go to court for this, or we're in our battle, there's gonna be a line drawn in the sand, Robbie, and you're gonna have to pick a fucking side. That's all I'm gonna have to say. So you do share all of our Twitter posts, every single one, and you like all of our videos. So I mean, you are maybe our biggest fan.
You're in the tent with us. You're in the foxhole with us.
Yeah.
So,
you know, but if you do, if you jump on Joe Rogan, and Robbie's a big boy, so I mean, if we do have to fight Robbie and Joe Rogan, we better come with some heat.
Right.
I mean, I'm just gonna bring a gun, but
I think because I think Joe Rogan's taking me out right a fucking way, like one punch, and I'm like on the floor, like twitching. And then it's up to you 3 guys to hopefully by that point he's like so like scared for my well-being, like thinking he might have killed me, that maybe he lets up on you guys a little bit, and that's our end.
Speaking of me having a gun, I told Stuart about this the other day. I walked into the gas station up the street from my house, dude. I was so pissed off, just like in a bad mood. And I walk in and I'm checking out, and there's this fucking long-haired guy that works there, and he wears like a scarf. He just acts like a real fuck. And I had like 5 items, and I was like, "Can I get a bag?" And he goes, "No." So I just looked up at him and I said, "What if I pulled a gun on you right now and took all your fucking bags?" And I took my own bag, handed it to him. He bagged my shit, and I walked out. Didn't even say bye. Haven't been back since. But Shan goes there every day. So,
Jesus Christ, dude.
But dude, I just looked that guy right in the fucking eyes, and I was like, "Bro, what if I pulled out a gun and took your fucking bags?"
Dude, you had like 3 seconds of being a complete insane person, right,
dude?
there.
Like,
Yeah.
well, like it was one of those things where like it's like, bro, don't talk to me. Like when I go, like it was one of those things where I'm like, "Can I have a bag?" And you know, like you can tell like when a customer's got that playful attitude. Like I'm like, "Bro, can I get a bag?" And he's like, "No." And then didn't like continue like he didn't like continue the transaction. He did that like stop doing everything. Like he was gonna wait for me to acknowledge that he said no. You know, like as there was like some joke, like I was supposed to react. I'm like, "Bro, I'm not giving it to you." Like
so you
like,
just hit him with the exact opposite of a joke and threatened.
I was like,
his
"Bro,"
life.
I said, "Wouldn't it'd be a real big twist if I just robbed you right now?" like see ya. Like
You hit him with the M. Night Shyamalan, didn't say bye and did.
Yeah. So Joe, if you're listening, just know you're dealing with some loose fucking screws, baby. Okay. Okay. I just mad no matter what. Stuart's hopped up on Dubby sauce. Look at him. Jack was mad 15 minutes ago. We're all fucking ready to go. So like, if you want to fuck around and steal one more joke, see what happens.
Fuck around and find out.
Fuck around and find out. But yeah, so there you go. We're gonna wear that picture out so hard that
I think we already have.
yeah. I mean,
honestly, I don't.
We
care
ran
what you
that
guys
joke
say.
into the ground.
Dude,
Kamaru
I will
Usman's
put
gonna
it
sue
every
us
time, every episode. That is my goal to work that in. Just so you know.
Shoehorn
Well,
Usman.
okay, so if we're on the subject though, let's kind of get into some of the shit that we like kind of want to talk about this week. It kind of goes, if we're talking about, you know, losing situations, as is a court battle with Joe Rogan would be for us. I think a bigger losing battle and probably a bigger loss would be the trade that we just made with Russia for Brittany Greiner. I think Brittany Greiner is I'm very happy that my girl's home.
Bro, she looks like Pete Davidson. That
Looks like
picture.
Pete Davidson.
Dude, but Jesus Christ.
It's
dude,
good to be home.
Dude, that's that face when you fucking get out of the gulag, dude. That's
Bro,
that
that's
gulag. That's a gulag grin right there, bro.
Got out of the
one of those,
gulag
like-
or a relationship with a
That's
Kardashian.
a jailbreak. That's one of those jailbreaks. Like, you know, like
Dude.
she just caught a jailbreak in Warzone. But
Dude, she's gonna ask her fucking wife, like, or her wife's gonna be like, "So, what was the gulag like?" And she's like, "I don't want to talk about it," and just beats her ass again.
dude,
Oh,
why they put up a picture like she's like I have, from what I've seen, her wife's not bad. Brittany Griner's got a nice.
He's a pro
nice
athlete,
wife.
sure.
Yeah, that would make sense.
Oh, I thought you meant Brittany's wife. But they met at like Baylor, I think. I think they started dating at Baylor. But But yeah, I mean, so how do you guys feel about this? Like, obviously, nobody's gonna say that we didn't want her brought home. I think everyone, even people who don't give a fuck about her and know that she's like this, because she's pretty anti-America. You know, she did the national anthem thing, and she did the whole like fuck America. You know, she's pretty outspoken, which, you know, as a Black American, you know, she has every right and every reason to. But like, you know, there's those people who are like, oh, fuck her, you know, type of thing. But I think even in that situation, you're glad to see anybody get out of a situation like that. But
good PR for a Democrat.
Right. But when you find out that we gave them fucking Iron Man.
Yeah, Tony Stark of Russia.
Right.
For fucking
very lopsided trade.
I feel we got no draft picks in this deal. We got no future draft picks in this deal. We got no, you know, promises,
financial compensation.
No financial compensation.
This is why having Trump on Twitter would have been fucking awesome, because he'd be like, this is the worst trade deal of all time.
Well, here's I'm gonna say. So I had this conversation today, and everyone know I'm not a Trump fan. Didn't vote for the guy either time. Fuck the guy altogether. But this is one of those situations that I wish we could have phoned a friend.
Yeah.
I wish somebody would have said, like, I wish Joe or whoever speaks for Joe could have said, Joe would like to phone a friend. And then, someone get Don on the line, because we get both.
I wrote the art of the deal.
And from what I understand is that we wanted both of there's some guy. So everyone's pissed off about this guy, that Paul Whelan or whatever. I don't know who the fuck, whatever his name is.
Paul Whelan.
Which, if you read about him, I don't really feel
he's also a piece of shit.
I don't feel bad for him either. So like, it's weird that people are like so mad that we didn't go get him. I mean, this guy made a fuckhead move like everyone goes, oh damn, Brittany Griner's a big idiot for bringing, you know, CBD cartridges into Russia. Yeah, big stupid. I mean, duh, big idiot. But then you read about him, and you're like, oh, so this guy just decided to try to he just wanted to play super spy in Russia, you know? So like, right. You read about some of the shit this guy was doing, you're like, okay, well, he's an idiot too. Like,
yeah,
this guy is almost no better. So, but apparently the deal was we wanted both of them for them, and they basically told us to fuck off. They said, if you want both of them, we want Victor and this other guy, who the joke is, so this is a guy that like armed somebody that killed. I read about it earlier, but the joke of it was, we don't even have him in custody. So like they were like, oh, okay, you want both of them, you stupid motherfuckers? Well, we want the guy you're going to give us, Iron Man. And then we also want fucking, what's the guy that's, what's Don Cheadle's character in Iron Man? War Machine, you know, like we want War Machine too, and they're like, you know, War Machine. You don't even have War Machine. But fucking, this is not a good look, and I feel like this is kind of a bitch move by the United States.
I don't know, dude. 3 cheers for the fucking like Black community, though.
Oh yeah, for sure.
A Black lesbian got taken before the white dude.
Absolutely,
right.
Absolutely. No, I mean, when we're like like my own beliefs, sure, I am about it. I'm happy she's home and like big dubs. But like when you look at like when you look at how that guy rolled into Russia, like that guy was on national television the moment he stepped off a plane. Like that guy he is selling weapons 15 minutes ago. Okay. So like this guy is, so you're just kind of like, no matter how happy you are, he's just got Joseph
Kony on the jet phone. He's just like, brother, I'm out. Let's fucking make a deal, baby.
And he's like, I'll ping my location. Dude, it's just a fucking.
Is she ever gonna play basketball game, or you think she's just gonna like write a book, maybe go on?
Well, here's the thing. Does she just big dick it and go back and play professional basketball in Russia? Like, what does she do next year? I think she's in her contract there. So it's like, I don't know how that works. Like, I don't know if like her contract was voided when she went to prison.
I'm sure exceptions can be made.
Right. I mean, I'm sure it's just like a fucking getting a speeding ticket in Indiana.
Dude,
you just don't go so back
funny
to Indiana, but it's like, but it's one of those things where it's like,
it'd be so funny if the United States decided that she had to live up her obligations of the Russian basketball contract, and they extradited her back to Russia.
Dude, that's what I'm saying.
She's like, They're like, you signed the deal. You have to go play now. And they're like, wait, motherfucker.
they're like,
you just traded me for a war criminal and you're sending me back? You're like, yep.
Ma'am, you got 3 years, 35 million left on that deal. We got you home. We're not covering the deal. So you need to get your ass back over there.
Your Uncle Sam wants that tax money, and you have a pretty fat debt after all these negotiations. So turns out you're going to be playing basketball with the Rooskies for a couple more seasons, bud.
I thought it was funny. The best part was like the next day, fuck, it might have even been hours after it happened. The video of the transaction came out, where they're like standing there. And it's funny because like Victor's like shaking hands with everybody, and then there's like that moment where like they walk past each other, and like Victor Bout's like this little short fucking Iron Man, and he looks up at Brittany Greiner, who's like 2 times his size, and he's just like, it's almost like, damn, like that's like they almost are like, he's like, so that's what they were trading for. You know what I'm saying? Like,
do you think either of them? Do you think either of them have any idea who the other person is?
Probably not.
Like at all. Like, do you think like Brittany Greiner realizes like how pissed everybody is? It's like she hasn't heard from the media for like,
yeah, dude, we're trading you for some black dude. He's like, oh, okay.
Dude,
okay,
imagine
cool.
being Brittany Greiner. It's like 8 months you've been in fucking a Russian gulag, and like you get out and you're so happy. You're like, man, everybody in America must have been really worried about me. And you come and find out, you're reading all these stories. Everybody's like, bitch, we should have left you over there. Like you're not worth this Russian
trade
criminal.
grade F. You know what I'm saying? Russia A+.
Greiner clearly doesn't like familiarize herself with foreign affairs, so she has no idea who Victor is. Victor, he's been away for a while. He doesn't know anything about Brittany Greiner. So they crossed paths, and he looked at her probably like,
he said, "That's a big dude."
Pete Davidson. Oh shit.
Yeah. Well, like, and like, if you hear Brittany Greiner talk, like there are very manly women, like, and she is one of them. Like, she has got a very deep voice.
That dude probably thought he met Dennis Rodman. You know what I mean? He thought Dennis was just on another one of his international relations visits.
Yeah, he's like, why is Dennis in such a hurry?
States? And she's like, oh, that must be Dennis Rodman. Oh god,
yeah, that's fucking wild. Well, like I said, glad Brittany's home. I sure hope that this guy doesn't fucking. I mean, I'm sure he's gonna be dealing weapons. So I guess we'll just have to wait and see if he shows up in the news. Because like the Sting about him, like I went back and watched the Sting, like we really had to pull some shit to get that guy in prison. So
that was the guy who played, or that was like Nick Cage's character for God of War or whatever.
Yeah,
Lord
of War.
Yeah. Lord of War or whatever. Yeah, that was like the inspo for that.
Yeah, Nick Cage, baby, the GOAT.
Yeah, he's goated for sure.
All right. Well, I guess while we're on the topic of foreign affairs, well, there's a couple things we could chitty chat about coming up next. I'm scrolling down our little list of shit. Let's talk about France. I think this is pretty tight. I do think that we're going to stay on that side of the world. France decides they're going to make condoms free for anyone aged 18 to 25. How they're going to budget this? I mean, it's super tight. I don't know how the fuck they can afford this, but tight. And apparently they've already made birth control free. It's this year free. The government began offering this year free birth control for all women under 25.
Well, I like that.
I like that too. So, I mean, but again, I don't know how they're going to pay for all this, but like pretty sick.
Do you know,
I mean, like,
do you know the story about Macron and his wife, the president of France and his wife? Do you any of you guys know the story? Yeah, it's this guy on the camera. So his wife was his teacher, and they had a sexual relationship when he was a student.
Let's go.
And they reconnected like years later, and yeah, he's been with her like ever since. And so I don't know.
He's like, the only reason we didn't have a kid is because I wore a condom. And
exactly.
Yeah. So we're just gonna fucking fund the shit out of this.
he's like, if a condom can turn me from fucking my teacher into the president of France, what could it do to our next?
He's got a commercial. He's like, wrap your dick. It worked for me. It worked for me. It's like the commercial for condoms. He's like,
I want to say wrap your dick in French.
Wrap your dick, it'll make it res.
Wrap up your baguette.
Wrap you up your
something. Like
no, we don't want we wanted to catch all your French onion soup.
Jesus Christ,
dude! They have a commercial. They're like, Macron, put on your condom. And he goes, but I'm tired. and then 9 months later, he has a kid and he's like, shit.
She says, but let me take a nap and then put on the condom.
Shit, who the fuck is shooting in me?
Dude, I didn't even know that was his name. That shows you how little I know. I knew more about France making fucking condoms. I didn't even know that was their president. I've been looking at that picture in our Discord for like 5 days. Never cared to see who that guy is. But I think it's tight. He said it's but my favorite part about it was when I was reading it is what he said about it was it's a small revolution for contraception. Like, dude, what a fucking dope way to put it. Like, yeah, dude, we're revolutionizing fucking. Like, that's what we're doing.
I mean, the French did invent some shit, so they know fucking.
They got hairy
one small
shit over there.
I don't know if that's still a thing or not.
Is that? Well, they invented that shit, right?
I mean, they're born with it, so I mean, it just depends. Before the
Stuart,
razor.
Stop being PC right now. Let's look. French bitches with arm hair, it's not okay. Okay, and nowhere. And hippies in America trying to prove a point, it really isn't cool either.
Disgusting.
Yeah, I mean, do what you're gonna do, but hippies, man. God, sorry, I had to regather myself.
You had like a Vietnam flashback when you thought about hippies. You were just like,
you just think about all those.
You're like removed from yourself for a second.
God,
just
all those. Nick
just
thinking about
flashbacks of Haight Ashbury and Woodstock are just flashing in Nick's head, and he's like, ugh, ugh.
All those crust punk girls from our early 20s.
God damn! You just walk into a show at the fucking foo bar, and you could smell it from the door.
It smells like a rail yard.
Yeah, dude, fuck. Like because you just saw that girl squat and take a pee in the alleyway you were drinking in across the street. Good old days. Yeah, but I thought that was cool. I feel like that was worth bringing up. I think the United States could do a little more for not just pumping kids out all the time. I feel like United States
apparently like population's like an issue. Like we're not having enough kids. I don't know how that makes sense. There's like 8 billion people in the world now, apparently, and
COVID didn't do enough.
Yeah, that's what they're saying though, dude. They said like there's too many old people. Like there's way more baby boomers than there are like because people aren't having like 20 kids anymore. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like my family was the last stand of the American way of life. They tried to have 7 kids, and you know that was
Roman
as good
Catholic
as it's gonna get. Yeah. Now the whole world's apparently is going to be depopulated. That's what I heard. Apparently Japan's going to have more people in like adult diapers than in baby diapers, and it's like a societal collapse thing. Do you guys, Stu? I thought you were going to pump out a bunch of like 5 different colored babies that you were talking about.
The spectrum of fucking brown.
Yeah, exactly. I thought you were going for the full palette.
We'll start with one. Make sure we're gonna kill that.
It's funny you bring that up because I asked Stuart last week. I said, if you were to have a baby as white as you, like if you and Letty, or we can clip or whatever, you or your wife fucking were to have a baby as white as you, what would we do? Would we keep it? Would we love it? And no, we don't.
Straight to the foster home.
Damn.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
I mean, look,
that shit 3 high.
Yeah, I mean that shit. I mean, it's just another stat in Springfield at that point.
Yeah, another.
Stuart just starts punching himself in the balls, just like my sperm's too strong.
No,
God,
better.
He's taking he's taking a fucking shot of habanero sauce for he fucks.
Stuart's only fucking in Mexican restaurant bathrooms now.
He's like
dousing my balls in El Yucatero.
He's like, babe, you know what time it is? She's like, Mexican night.
Stuart just gets rock hard every time he hears fajitas. It's just like it's like Pavlov's,
dude.
It's like Pavlov's dog. Just like every time he hears this, he's like,
dude,
already there, dude.
You could probably go sell. They probably buy kids across the street, like somewhere across the street. You could probably just go sell like a newborn baby placenta on it and everything.
All these little cracker kids until I get a beautiful Nat Geo brown baby.
Bro,
okay.
Like
Nick, you just said something that I gotta tell you guys this story. This is so fucking funny. So back when I was a single man, I was on Tinder, right? And back, I don't know if it's still like this. Back on Tinder, you used to be able to connect your Instagram to your Tinder profile, right? So most of the people I'd match with,
danger.
well, most people I would match with, I would just look at their Instagram just so I could like, you know, see if they're a normal person, right? Like just see, oh, my friends, what are their hobbies, just kind of like a little background check, right? So I matched with this one girl, and like she has like 3 pics, and they're all like 2 years apart, and I'm like, okay, what's this shit? But she has like her full name.
That now.
No, even worse, dude. This story gets so much funnier. So this
dude.
So this girl, she has her full name on Instagram. So I don't know why. I was on my desktop at the time and I fucking just Googled her name, right? First thing that pops up, STL Today article, woman attempts to sell baby for methamphetamines. And it was this woman.
You better have gone on at least one date with that.
Is it your kid?
Bro, I don't know. But so what I did is I can't let this information just go into the universe and not, you know, something be made of it. So what I thought would be a funny idea is I took a screenshot of the article with her mugshot in it, and I sent that screenshot to her through Tinder, and I just wrote, "This you?" ? And within like 3 minutes, she had fucking blocked me and shit. But I was like laughing my ass off. I was like, of course, the people that I'm attracting are selling their babies for methamphetamine. Like, insane.
All your ex-girlfriends, dude. Yo, I mean
they're wild women.
One facing federal prison. You know what I'm saying? One was facing federal prison. One selling their baby for meth.
What a track record, man.
Dude, I really know how to pick them, don't I, boys?
The other one sat in a bar and tried to explain to a black guy that she knew the N-word was bad. Remember that? So you just got
one of my ex-girlfriends didn't tell me we were out drinking. We got blackout drunk, and she took a handful of mushrooms and didn't tell me that she took mushrooms. And I am at my apartment. She's laying in my bed. I went to the bathroom. I come back. She is on the phone with 911.
Oh, motherfucker.
Crying, going, I'm okay. And I don't know what the fuck is happening. I don't know. She took mushrooms, right? So, I look at her phone. I grab her phone out of her hands and I look at it. It says 911. She's been talking to them for like a minute and a half.
AKA they're on their way.
Dude. I look at the phone, and this is what the operator had to have heard, because this is exactly what I said. My reaction. I look at the phone and I see it says 911. I said, "Who are you talking to?" And then I look at the phone, I go, "Oh fuck!" And then click. And then that's what the 911 operator.
And then the geo tracking goes into play.
Who are you talking to? Oh fuck! Click. And I'm like,
I told you not to call, bitch.
I turn off her phone and I like pass out, and I'm thinking any minute now cops are gonna be busting down my fucking door.
Swatted.
Yeah, exactly. So I had some crazy women in my past. That's
dude. There's some 911 operator out there who's like, bro, I swear I heard some bitch die on the phone last night, and like she still has that timestamp of the call like pinned in her office. She's like, that's the one that got away.
We knew he was in the Leonardo building, but we had no idea which floor he was in.
Yeah, and they're like, well, why didn't you go in? They're like, ma'am, have you been to the Leonardo? They're like, there is 700 floors, okay. And
she goes, there's a good chance you don't come back out the Leonardo.
Like he probably hangs out at this Walgreens. You know what I'm saying? Like he's in the area. We'll catch him. And we're not. And dude, it was super weird. Like when you got off in the elevator, like they're all like the doors were kind of set up weird, and like it's a hard building. It's an
unsettling place.
Yeah, Jack, it definitely is.
That's a lineup to living up to the top G status, my man.
Yeah.
I mean, straight up, dude. You 911. I mean, like
it's a solid start.
You went when they say, "Well,
I control the situation, man." You
don't need the cops.
I own her in that relationship as the man. So she's my responsibility. So I have authority to do whatever I want with her.
Jack's dated all these jailbirds. The worst happened to me is that like all my ex-girlfriends are like lesbian now.
Jack immediately ran to the kitchen and checked her to-do list and goes, 911's not on this.
No, dude, but like I had no idea she was on mushrooms, so that in itself was another experience that was fucking hilarious.
This is the same. Yeah, this is the
if you're
yeah.
just imagine you're just blackout drunk drinking with somebody, and then they start like hallucinating, and they're like, "Wait, what's wrong with you?" And then
Dude,
she didn't offer you any. That's so uncool.
Well, look, she's not all there. We're just gonna leave it there. We're not gonna like dox this girl. We're not even gonna keep going on about her, but she's fucking. Like if you knew her, it's one of those things where like she was very nice, just airheaded. She's just fucking out there. And like I said, this all came up because this girl sat at the bar. We were all out drinking and we turned around and she's got some old black guy's cowboy hat on. And she's telling the guy that she knows that the N-word is not okay to say. And we're like, we have to leave.
I don't know how I don't know how she got to that point in the conversation. And I'm like, we'll just leave it at this.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be out of place for her to actually have said the word. So I was just like, we're getting out of here.
Yeah. Now. Like we all just said, check,
I don't
please.
want to die.
Yeah, check, please.
Check, please. Thank you.
But fucking, yeah, dude. Awesome. That is awesome though. You'll have to write a book one of these days on just like the past life of Jack. Yeah. 50 Shades of Jack Manning.
Dude, something like that.
He just seems like a normal Nashville guy, and you start peeling back the layers, and it gets dark. Shit gets dark.
God, well, that was a trip down memory lane.
Yeah, that was good. Well, I guess we've got about 20 minutes here, 30 minutes left. Let's get into some sports here. Well, before we got on the show, we'll get into Kyler Murray because we didn't do for anybody listening who thought we were going to do a space again. We record these on Tuesdays, release on Wednesdays. So Monday we had a space scheduled to go for Monday Night Football. I was salty as fuck and I had a migraine because of I'm on suicide watch for fantasy and we're not even going to get into it, but we didn't get the space. We didn't really get to go over Kyler Murray and just the abomination of a game that was, but. Before we get into any of that, today making the rounds on Twitter and I guess the internet is this fucking 12-year-old football player that won an MVP trophy, and people are like, this kid's got a half sleeve. He's 12 years old. Jack, have you seen this kid?
No, I'm not.
Quote unquote.
This kid's yoked.
Front office.
He's 12 years old.
I'm like
12.
Well, it's like 12 and up, so maybe 13.
Either he's 35.
Are you ready?
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
He has better facial. He grows better facial hair than me. It ain't patchy.
All right.
I can't grow facial hair, dude. What the fuck?
But this kid is insane.
No way, dude.
Bro. He's got tattoos. He's got tattoos.
I said he's got a half sleeve, dude.
Oh, I thought you meant like a basketball sleeve.
No, dude, look, the trophy says 12U Division I Youth National Championship Most Valuable Player. There's a video going around of some guy's like, bro, how old are you? He's like 12.
Dude, he looks like old Greg.
There's no way. Like they've got to be pumping HGH or something into this fucking kid. Like
he looks like Marcus Brownlee.
Yeah, dude, I can't grow a mustache like that.
He's a stepdad. Insane. Like that is a straight up step. Like that guy has kids.
Dude, that guy's got a whole ass job and everything. Like that is insane. That's a 12-year-old. No wonder he's a champion. Like, can you imagine you at 12 years old trying to go up against that guy?
Well, when I sent this to the FO to put this in earlier, the caption to the photo was, if this kid tackled my son, I'd be running out onto the field. Could you imagine? Like straight up though, like if there it is.
No, right here, shit.
If this man tackled my 12-year-old son.
Did you guys ever do like the
oh my god,
punt pass kick or whatever they call it back in the day?
Punt pat, yeah.
Like you look at the videos of like there's that old archive footage of Andy Reid when he was like 13.
Yeah, he's like a fucking ogre. He's like
and he's just a big fat kid. But then like you have kids like this that's like a legit like specimen.
Dude, he could play linebacker for the Niners. Like, dude,
he's like, first round draft pick in the Dynasty League in like 6 years.
You know what's funny
right
is like
now,
he doesn't even look like particularly athletic. He just looks like an out of shape 20-year-old dude, and that's what and that would dominate 12U
like that's
football.
why.
You know what I
Like
mean?
that's
Like
the
that,
only reason he's MVP. Like he smokes
like,
a
he doesn't-
cigarette between games. Like that
he
guy
doesn't
went
look
out
like
and
he's
smoked a
like
cigarette.
ripped. Oh,
No, like
That
dude,
kid
this
smokes
guy,
Black and Milds.
the
the tip.
plastic tips. Yeah,
Yeah.
like for sure.
Ooh.
Bro, but I don't.
Ugh.
Yeah, I don't know. So apparently, this kid is Nathaniel Trask Powell. Is that the kid's name?
Apparently,
Let me see. Hold
presume.
on. Football player. His name
Oh, that's the stadium.
is. Oh, his name is Big Daddy U. No, it's not. It's Jeremiah Johnson from Fort Worth, Texas. Won an MVP
AKA
honors.
6-star recruit.
6-star recruit,
That's what I'm
aka
saying. Just give him 6 years. He's gonna be a first round.
he won MVP honors at the Youth National Championships in Miami over the weekend.
Deion
However,
Sanders is trying to get him right now.
oh
dude,
yeah,
in,
dude, this kid's
in 6 years front office, this dude's gonna have fucking arthritis. What are you talking about? He's gonna be like on the tail end of his career in 6 years, bro.
yeah, dude.
Oh,
this
he's
is gonna
the
be
fucking the Robin Williams movie where he ages really fast.
or he's just
Yeah.
out
He's
of
gonna be
Pulos
dead
for
at,
like,
like,
yeah,
28.
he's gonna be DHing for some MLB team and like like just that's it. Like he's never
Dude, is
gonna
this
play the
fucking
field.
Benjamin Button?
Yeah.
Like, what the hell?
Jesus fucking Christ. Yeah, I thought this was good though. I mean, we're gonna have to look like everyone's saying he is 12. But there's a lot of people saying there's no way. This is all kind of popping off today. So when you hear from us next week, maybe we'll have more on this because
We'll have a birth
I am
certificate.
yeah. Well, there is a birth certificate that they're saying that it's a fake birth certificate. Like there's no way. Like
The
I
I
am
am
12.
12 with
Yeah, yeah,
with the
yeah.
$10 bill in there.
yeah, he got it from the
could
same
see.
place Obama got his. You know what I'm saying? Like where they
Yeah.
just print out birth certificates. So Susie got here from
Not
Kenya.
it says not from Kenya on it.
Yeah, not from Kenya. So we'll next year we'll have our next week. We might have some more on this. We might not. Who knows? This guy's probably gonna be in jail next week because they're gonna find out he's like 40 years old and he's playing with all these little 12-year-olds.
You were in the locker room with these kids? Get the fuck out of here.
They're like, we
Oh.
knew he wasn't 12 and we saw his dick. Yes, like, that's when we knew.
Dude, he
Like-
fucking drove himself to the game.
With his dick. You know what I'm saying? Like they're like, dude, he had T-tops when he pulled in, okay? Like he came in like the cool guy, like the Fonz. The fucking
Every booster mom is fucking pregnant now.
yeah, dude.
He leaves a cigarette just running on the bench. He's like, don't put that
I'll
out.
finish
I'll be
this.
back. I'll be back for that.
They tell women that they're coming who are coming off their period that stay away from football games and like just to 48 to 72 hours. They're like, because you might go home pregnant. But yeah, that's good shit.
I had something else also preventing me from going to the Spaces on Monday night. I thought you guys might get a kick out of this because I'm not sure if I mentioned this to any of you guys, but I went on a little trip this weekend. I was in East Tennessee in Gatlinburg, and I went to Dollywood, which is
Dude.
Dolly Parton's amusement park.
I'm so jealous.
I thought that was the fucking I thought Dolly Parton's amusement park was the goddamn Dixie Stampede.
That's like a show that they have there. Is the Dixie Stampede. Yeah.
Dolly Parton.
Dude, so as it goes, like Dolly World is cool as hell. Like, don't get me wrong. It's like
Christmas time.
It's Christmas time. They got all the lights out. It's really pretty, everything like that. But it's really funny because like there's not a moment that you can be at that park where you can't forget that you're in like East Tennessee Bible Belt country. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because like, so this is what happened to us. We're like riding rides. Becca and I are having a good time, you know, and long story short, you know, we're a little tired and we got a little bite to eat, but we wanted to sit for a little bit. So we get into one of those shows because they have shows everywhere. And the one that we got into, the show that we went to, we didn't really read the name of the show before we went into. Bro, we sit down and we're in the middle of basically a church pew. And all of a sudden what happens is
The burning of
all
the witch.
these guys start singing angels we have heard on high, like it's like the old
Jack's
man
looking for the door.
bro, it's the old man's church choir. It's literally like geriatric dudes standing up there singing fucking Christmas songs, but only the ones that involve Jesus. None of like the rocking around the Christmas tree or anything like the good shit.
Yeah,
It's just
right.
it's
No
hark the
guitar.
herald angels sing and like yeah, a little town of Bethlehem.
Yeah.
And but the thing was that the place was so packed, and we look around. Beck and I are the youngest people in this fucking theater by like 50 years, and it's just geriatrics, just Jerry's left and right. And so these, like, if we were to get up, we'd have to like literally walk across grandma's walker, like in front of her, and get out. So we're like, fuck, I guess we're here. And it went on for 35 minutes, just church song after church song after church song.
Dude, you fucked a couple near deads out of a spot. Just know that. Think about that.
Oh, dude, it was sold out. There was literally like somebody like walking up, somebody in a wheelchair, and like I like am closing the door behind me. I'm like, haha, last seat, sucker.
You're like fucking
Because
lose,
Jack was there,
bitch.
someone couldn't park their walker.
Yeah, they're like some lady died the next day. We're not ever getting to see that show. Like that's all she wanted, and her last memory. She's like, I almost got to the Dolly show, and some blonde head prick shut the door in my face and
farted right before he closed the door.
Yeah, told me to fuck told grandma to fuck herself, and then she died the next day. Like she was so heartbroken. But damn, that's fucked up.
That is the best part about crop dusting old people, is that they're all in wheelchairs, so they're right at fart level height, so it's just knocking them on their ass. Like,
and they all blame each other too, because their assholes don't work anymore.
Right.
Yeah, dude,
exactly.
Yeah, there is just
it'll forever be, they'll die a mystery.
Yeah, Stu, you would think that, but they know what a young person's fart smells like. An old person's fart.
Dude, yeah.
That's a young person's fart is a pleasant treat.
Yeah, there's some death in there when an old guy fart. Like, look, my grandpa was the coolest, most OG guy in the world, and Stuart can confirm that. But like, even he had a nasty, wet old man fart every once in a while, and you were just like, Grandpa, like, fix yourself, dog.
Unfiltered. Like in that bathrobe,
you're just like,
I don't know what it is. I think I disagree. I think old ladies have the worst farts. Like nothing is worse than an old lady fart.
No,
it gets like trapped in her vagina, then like comes out like 3 minutes late, 3 minutes later, and it's just been fucking soaking up in there, and it just goes out
an old pussy fart.
It just runs off the old tape. You just like if you were to put a camera down there, you'd see a little like you'd see like a little flood,
little heat transfer.
Looks like a fucking live weather webcam from Death Valley.
Fuck.
Oh god. Just as human.
And it's got like that, and like and there's only one perfume that old bitches wear, and like it's universal. So like there's like that mix of death, ass,
and talcum.
And taint and talcum. Yeah, dude.
Talcum. Oh my god. Old lady minge.
Dude, straight up, an old lady farts on me, I'm punching her in the face. Like, dude, straight up, like, dude, I'll fight an old lady for that.
Yeah, right.
Straight up, you know what you're doing, lady. You ain't been alive long enough to do that. Let me tell you that. To get away with some shenanigans like that.
Dude, I don't want to talk.
You would have gotten the belt in the 50s.
So one of my grandparents, I used to drive them back home from the nursing home every day after I got out of high school. I would pick her up it was like daycare it was like a middle home kind of thing for old people, you know? And so one time I'm driving my grandma back, right? And I'm driving the minivan after the crash. So this minivan with a fucking busted out side door.
The busted ass side door.
The door that we mentioned earlier. Yeah, my dad never fixed that, by the way. Constant reminder. But anyway, so I'm driving my grandma home, and like we're just talking about whatever bullshit she was doing that day. I didn't really care. And long story short, we're just talking. The car just starts reeking of fucking piss, like just so bad. I'm like, what? I'm like, what the hell? And I'm just talking to her, and she's just talking to me, and she's just pissing.
That's the beginning of the end.
From the beginning, like by the time I realized it, I was like, "Oh shit, this is a lost cause. We're not doing anything now."
It's gonna soak in.
But,
yeah, and then you should have just left it there. Like you should have bet payback for dad. You should have left that there.
No, I closed the door and pretend I didn't even notice it. My dad gets in there, he's like, "What the fuck?
Fuck is that?"
Like you got a rubber face in it. So teach her a lesson.
Grandma.
And
grandma.
I was just like, I just thought she. I just thought she farted. Like what? I didn't know she pissed.
Look what you did.
Yeah, I rubbed her fucking nose in
stick
it.
Her nose in
I was like, bad grandma. No.
They're like, where's grandma? I left her there. Why? Because she didn't learn. Like she peed. I sat her down and she had something left. Apparently, she didn't get it all out the first time. Your grandma's a sweet woman, though.
I just go mop. I go
My
mop
grandma
it up.
wasn't. Yeah. Dude, my grandma though, like she had a little attitude. If she would fart or piss on me, we'd fight. I'd fight her, dude, straight up. Only one of them. I have one very sweet one, and one who, God bless her soul. I mean, God rest her soul, loved her to death. I mean, she was a machine, dude. Like she was, whew, she was Stuart's favorite. But
your grandma,
nobody's favorite.
Your grandma thought I was a pedophile.
Why'd you think you were a pedo?
I have no idea.
Is that a rumor? Did she start it?
No, she accosted me one day and told me that I was like sexually harassing her grandkids. I think it was at a time where like Nick and his brother, the only reason they came to their grandma's house is because I lived across the street.
Yeah,
and she
dude.
got like super jealous that like their only reason they're there is because of me. And so she's like, he touches them.
Dude, I swear.
That's a logical.
I swear,
it's funny to think too, because that would insinuate that like that's the reason Nick keeps coming back, just to get touched by Stuart.
Like, dude, he's got that. I'm like,
I'm a giver, dude.
He's got
Nick's like, fuck you, Grandma. I'm going across the street to get diddled.
You won't jerk me off. He will.
This fat, long-haired kid.
I love that.
Yeah, you won't reach around, Grandma. I know someone that will. But she did make shit up like that. Like I don't know if that was her real reasoning, but like she did.
Psycho.
Like she used to get at my stepdad's parents for like being too real of grandparents type shit. Like she was a little fucked in the head. But you know, she was a warrior, and I mean, Jesus Christ, she had to go through some of the shit she had to. I mean, Jesus Christ. But if she were to fart on me, I'd fight her.
Over Stuart diddling you and your brother.
Well, I'm trying to remember what there was like a
like Stu, like I mean, like at the time you were like I mean, you're not like super tall. Like, I mean, I guess you're significantly taller than Nick, but like the thought of like Nick and his brother not being able to defend themselves against you is just a really funny idea. Because Nick's like 2 years old. Like you're like 2 years older than Nick at most.
I distinctly remember, and I hate to bring up, she's passed away, but
yeah, God bless you, Grandma.
God bless Grandma, but you dirty bitch. You fucking they were in my bedroom and
naked,
right where you was.
He was touching us.
We're like playing video games and shit. AJ had his skateboard. And like Nick dared AJ to like lick the dirty ass wheels of his skateboard, and so we spun the wheel, and Nick's brother had to like lick the whole way around the skateboard, and like all of a sudden like someone's banging on my window, and we open up the blinds, and there's grandma.
That's what it was. Yeah, dude.
And she's like, what is AJ licking? Like,
yeah. So that's what it was. I totally fucking forgot
all the
about
way
that.
around.
So she would
she heard lick all the way around.
So that had to have been fueling the gay rumor. So she actually I forgot all about that. So and because Stuart used to always keep his window like half open, right? Like and even the blinds down. And if on a rare occasion, most of the times they would just yell because the window's open, you could hear. But there was rare occasions, where they would come to the window if they couldn't get a hold of us to like knock on the window and be like, because he lived directly across the street, like the house directly across the street from my dad. So I could literally just walk across the street. And so she could come outside and just yell. But if we didn't answer, he usually be my dad or whatever, they'd come to the window just so they didn't have to knock on the door, bother his dad,
right.
Full fuss. So she was probably coming over to get us for some reason. And like I said, she just walked in on the wrong spot. Because I do remember that. Because we made AJ lick a fucking skateboard wheel. And she was like, what the fuck? What is he licking? And it was just like,
dude, at least you weren't making him. At least you weren't making him do the. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
She starts hollering, freaking out. It draws the attention of my parents. Right. And my parents are like, what's going on? I'm like, she thinks that I'm like sexually like molesting like Nick and his brother. And they're like, what the fuck? And they're like, Nick, AJ, get the fuck out of our house. Grandma, get the fuck out of our yard. Like, and then you're immediately like, fuck you, Grandma. We're going home. You call your mom. Your mom shows up. And she's like, "What the fuck's going on?" They're like, "They think Stuart's like sexually molesting us." And your mom's like, "What the dude?"
You have like long hair and just like you're like, what?
Dude, I have trauma because of that night. I have
Dude, it's-
PTSD. It was one of the most horrific things. I've never been accused of being a creeper like that before in my life. But your grandma,
Well, let me tell you, and
Nick,
let me
imagine
tell
if
you,
you're-
like he was touching us. It just was
it was consensual.
somewhat. I mean, like I was half awake, and he was like, "Do you like that?" And I was like, "Yeah." I mean, it doesn't.
You
feel
didn't say
bad.
no.
Yeah, it doesn't feel bad.
Yeah.
Nick, imagine if your grandma caught us doing the impossible sit up to AJ. Do you remember?
Oh
the
yeah,
impossible, do you remember the impossible sit up? For those who don't know what the impossible sit up is, it's one of the most my favorite childhood prank. The prank is to tell people that it's impossible to do a sit up blindfolded. While the person is blindfolded, you get another person to pull their pants down and basically squat above their head as they do a sit up into your ass cheeks.
Dude,
Christ.
it is one of the foulest things. Other than
It was so
teabagging.
normal
So
back
dirty.
then too. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's like
and-
it's like when you're at that age, teabagging and the impossible sit up are just like, oh, that's just guys goofing.
Dude,
know?
yeah. Well, and
harmless guy prank.
you would think that it's just guy goofing, but there's
It's
a guy out
sexual
there.
assault.
There's a guy out there
He
somewhere
gets
that
off on that.
I won't name drop this guy either, but there is a guy alive out there who is still butthurt over me dangling my nuts in his face, and it is what it is. It is what it is.
Dude,
You
there's
know-
there's a veteran out there that doesn't know that you dipped your nuts in his water.
You know
Yeah,
what's like-
that is terrible, dude. Bro, people listening to this, like, look, this is stretched over a lot of years. Like, dude, it's not. I'm not the only one that does foul shit with my nuts as a younger guy. So,
right.
but I did dip my nuts into at Riverport. There was a guy we worked with. Again, we are not here to put people on blast, but we are here to relive the good times.
Yeah.
And this guy, no one liked him. Just a total. Just lied about everything. Like just one of those guys that like he didn't have to lie. Like he just was one of those guys that just like made shit up. You're like, why? Like why? Like we know that was false. And also him and his girlfriend went through boot camp together in the Army or for the Marines, and she made
fucked
it
everybody.
and he didn't. And he came back and was working with us, and he was like, oh yeah, like he truly believed. So he was like 10 years older. She was like 18, just out of high school. Going into and he was like, oh yeah, she's gonna be faithful, blah blah, all this stuff. I'm like, bro, she's fucking every dude in the military. You are dating a girl fresh out of high school. You're like 8 years older than her. You both went in for tryouts and you didn't make it. Like, oh
and now
baby,
she's surrounded by absolutely buff dudes in peak physical condition. Like,
yeah.
And as
But-
a consolation prize, he drank fucking Nick's nut sweat.
He drank some nut sweat, and one day I opened up his because he always brought like a canteen water bottle, and I dipped both my nuts in his canteen water bottle, shook it up real good, and that's
so
that.
I kind of going back to that teabagging thing. I want your guys' input on this, and maybe you can acknowledge if this is true. There's a
Right.
paradox. There's a paradox in teabagging, where teabagging, if you on the surface level, you would think that the person who puts a balls on another man's face, unbeknown to him, that person may be the homosexual. But in actuality, the teabagging paradox clearly proves that if you fall asleep and you get balls on your face, you are the only one who is gay in that scenario. So it's a strange it is a strange paradox because like if you can teabag people all day and no one's gonna be like, oh, you're gay. Why did you do that?
Well, you ever
But if you get teabagged 100 times, everybody's like, wow.
It's like playing gay chicken when you're a kid and you're like two dudes. You initiate it by like complimenting them, like, oh, dude, you've been like working out, and they're like, fuck, I gotta play gay chicken now.
Yeah.
And you get really close to each other, and you get your tongue out, and whoever's the first person to pull back is somehow the loser.
Yeah, dude. Wow.
I mean, it makes sense if you don't think about it. That's what my uncle said.
this won't hurt if you close your eyes. Yeah, that's fucked up. Well, so
that's like
oh my God, dude. So it's so funny that we are like, all right, so we're gonna talk about sports, and then we just got into like all this nut sweat and fucking Stuart touching me as a kid and fucking
don't say it like that.
who's gay if you get nuts dragged across your face.
It was a hard left turn, that's for sure.
Dude, it was a hard left turn. So let's let's try to. We're gonna go under 130 this time, obviously. So let's just hard right back into sports. Let's kind of fireball some shit, and let's get the fuck out of here. So, last night Monday Night Football.
What an incredible fucking shirt.
Oh yeah, wow, that is good. I love that they use that this year. That's their throwback.
I love
that's
that.
pretty sick. But anyway, so 2 nights ago, if you're listening to this on Wednesday and we drop it, Monday Night Football, we saw just a dickhead game between Arizona and the Patriots where everyone got hurt. Kyler Murray blows his ACL out, second play of the game. Not good. They were saying that he was pretty much like he broke down in the hallway and was crying and yelling and shit. So that's always pretty sad to hear, especially coming off this contract ordeal where you get the big contract. Everybody talks about it, how he doesn't train and whatever. Now he's gonna have a lot of time not to train.
Now he's got the new Call of Duty that's out now too. You know what I mean?
He'll have a few double XP weekends.
Yeah, maybe. It'll be a long recovery, but it'll feel like a few weeks to him.
Dude,
so,
I'm finding Kyler in the gulag, 100%.
Straight up, K1. Yeah, K1. Now that you got a lot of time, find us in duos, bitch, because you don't want it. Let me tell you.
I'm gonna be the guy throwing rocks at you until you just fucking murk my ass.
Kyler Murray and Brittany Greiner walk into a gulag.
Brittany Greiner fucks him up. That would be my guess. Brittany Griner's got to be what? How much height does she? She's got to have a foot on Kyler Murray, right?
At least a foot on him.
At least a foot.
Right?
Surely.
Jesus Christ.
I would put my money on Kyler being able to dunk though.
Maybe, dude. That video hurt. That is so bad. That video hurt trying to dunk. Good Lord. But yeah, so prayers out to that guy. Sucks that that's shitty to see him. Ramondre Stevens goes down. Hopefully he's all right. He fucks me. Couldn't even get, all I knew was 4 points. We won't go there. But it seemed like everyone. Who else? Devontae Parker, I think, got a concussion last night. God, who else?
Too, I think.
Yeah, there was it just seemed like, James Conner was hurt for a minute.
Yeah.
11 inches height difference between Brittany and Kyler. So damn near a foot.
Jesus
5'10" and 6'9".
Dead on, actually. Dead on.
Yeah. Kyler is not 5'10", even though
Stewart's been beating off the Brittany Greiner photos. But yeah, no, so I guess Colt McCoy's, they don't have like a QB in the waiting, right? Is Colt just the guy going forward? Is that who we're gonna roll with, or do they have like some poor
as far as a backup, dude? I mean, you could do a lot worse than Colt McCoy.
Oh, we got video of the so people watching, we're about to show you the ACL. It's kind of shitty. We hate to show shit like this, but context, right? You got to, yeah. But we got blow it up.
If Cole McCoy's name was
down.
Oh God. If Cole McCoy's name was Scott Jones, he'd be out of the league right now. I'll just leave it at that.
Oh yeah, you hate to see that non-contact.
It just gives, man.
Hey.
Yeah, it's bad to see, and it's we saw a lot of injuries this week. You see Debo getting fucked up. It was not non-contact. Yeah. They're saying 3 to 4 weeks. When they say 3-ish weeks, you don't know what that means, but yeah, I would assume probably a month. Yeah, you're probably looking at 3 weeks to a month. And that's probably come back with some tape on it and stuff. And we don't know what Ramondre got last night. He came back for a few plays, got it with his shit taped up, left the game. He says he hopes he plays next week. Yeah, but this week was a crazy one. I mean, we got, like you said, especially the first 2 quarters of that game Monday, it seemed like so Jack and I's other league and our front offices in their league, the Gino Jaw League, we have a group chat for that as well, and there was a few kids that were in there. It was like Kyler's done, and then it was like right after that it was like, oh fuck, now Ramondre, and then one guy was like, this is what do you say, this is a death trap game, and then and the moment he said it was a death trap game, James Conner goes down. It was like before text messages could even get sent, like people were just dropping like flies, and it was just like, holy shit, like this is a real grass field, so it's not like turf can be involved in this, so it's just kind of an unfortunate week, and you hate to see it for Kyler for sure. But
so kind of looking forward, I mean, I guess the kind of bigger picture of the NFL is we kind of now have at least a decent sense of what the playoff picture is going to be.
not for the Titans division.
I mean, right now, yeah, the AFC South could, I mean, be considered close. The Titans are only 7-6 in their first place. The Jags
So
are 5
gnarly.
and 8. So it obviously it's not ideal. But also look at the NFC South. That's another shitty ass division. I mean,
Yes.
what the Bucks are 6-7 right now too, and they're first in their division, so they have a negative record. So
yeah, and you got Carolina fucking climbing, dude. Like
Carolina is
good.
making a push, man. So
They look good.
and, yeah. But
And the fighting Dan Campbell's.
we got the Bills, Chiefs, Ravens, and Titans, in the AFC with the division leads. I honestly, the only team that could maybe lose that is the Ravens, and they could lose that out to the Bengals. And then you got the Eagles.
Office.
Eagles got their playoff berth clinched.
Front office. Look at the
first team.
I just sent you in the private chat. Pull this picture up. I just sent in the private chat. This is it's a good link. This will give us all the playoff breakdown on who's in the hunt.
I don't know
super
if
fast.
records are good evidence right now because there's just such a lot of weird football being played this year. Who is the best team in NFL right now?
Well, I think the Eagles have got to be okay. So, and a side note on that, I just want to say I opened up Bleacher Report when we get on here because I always do. Von Miller has got a lot of time to talk to athletes because he's got a blown ACL as well. That motherfucker had Micah Parsons on with Trayvon Diggs today. With Trayvon Diggs needs to shut his mouth because, like, dude, he literally just hit or miss. But Micah Parsons, he was asked about the Jalen Hurts thing today, whether he thought he was his MVP. And Micah Parsons, who, I mean, I just deep-throated this guy last week. Love him. He's a Cowboy. He's my favorite defender in the league right now. Can't believe that's a thing. But he says, is it Jalen Hurts the MVP or is the team the MVP? Jalen Hurts.
That's the stupidest thing I've ever heard.
Like, that is the dumbest shit I've ever heard. Like, we have just talked about this the other day, and front office and I just talked about this, and they even brought it up this weekend during the game because I had them pulled up on Sunday Ticket. Even in the games that they've lost and in like some of the down spots they've had, he's never the reason.
The game they lost?
Yeah, the game they've lost, he had like 2 passing touchdowns and a rushing touchdown. So it's like, and like one of the interceptions was like off somebody's hand. I think it was off A.J. Brown's hands or something. So it's like,
tipped.
Yeah, it was tipped. So it's like, what a dumb fucking thing to say. But on that note, the Eagles are definitely, because I think the Vikings are proving that they're a little faker than we thought, especially losing to
they just lost
the lot. Well, who I guess we
week.
Can't really say is. I mean, they're 6-1, or right, 5-1 in the last 6, or 6-1 in the last 7, or something. They're like
that. I saw that. Yeah.
They're playing. Them boys are playing.
The fighting Dan Campbell's.
Eagles lost to Washington, right?
Washington, yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So 1 interception, a $175 in passing yards, 2 passing touchdowns and a rushing touchdown. That's so solid production.
Yeah,
and they lost that. They lost that game by 1 score, and it was like close till the end. So yeah, no, Eagles definitely. But I mean, you have to look at the juggernauts in the AFC and say, Bills and Chiefs are probably still 2 of the top teams in the league right there. Yeah,
right. And you got to look at things like the Brady's. Like, you never know. I mean, I don't mean to cut you off, but if somebody like Brady gets into the playoffs, you just never know. But,
right. And all I was going to say is I do think the AFC has been harder than the NFC this year. Just maybe the quality of football maybe is a little bit higher in the AFC. And
AFC is so clearly bad.
Dude, they're so good. Yeah. I mean, like, look at the Dolphins look so. I mean, the Dolphins being number 6. I mean, obviously, I think the Dolphins have a little faker in them too. I definitely think they've got some flaws. But like when you're looking at when they're the 6th, when you look at the 6th best team being the Dolphins in the AFC, and you look over at the 6th best team in the NFC, it's the Commanders. It's like, the Dolphins just look like such a better team.
You know what's crazy too is sneakily is that the Patriots are 7-6 right now. They're
7-6. Yeah,
because that defense is stout.
The defense is good. They've been able to survive with the quarterbacks that they have. And
Mac's doing fine.
Well, Ramondre's been an animal. Ramondre's been an animal when he's on the field. So
I think no matter who's running the ball, it's effective over there.
Yeah, Damian Harris was really good too when he was healthy.
Everybody got fed last night after Ramondre went down.
Yeah, fucking Damian Pierre Strong. Fuck off.
Right.
God. But yeah, I mean, and here's another team. I think the Niners are a team. Well, I guess maybe not with the quarterback. Well, Brock Purdy, he's got a little injury right now, but the kid's real. I mean, like, he might not be like real yet. We don't know, like, when crunch time, playoff time, that type of shit. But the kid plays.
Have they done a joke?
Irrelevant.
Have they done a joke yet for the Purdy Rock anthem? Purdy Brock anthem?
They need to. Well, not
On the
Pop
cusp.
Culture Rehab did.
They need LMFAO on the track.
Straight up, dude. They fucking, that kid is good, you know. And the
Dude, seriously.
CMC looks like CMC. If Debo, you know, Debo, even without Debo this year, they've looked very. I mean, Ayuk has taken a big step forward. So I mean, they've, you know, obviously missing Debo is going to hurt, but like, you know, there's teams like them. I would trust the Niners, the Cowboys, obviously the Eagles, and I don't know, maybe not the Giants, but I would say those teams more than like the 10-3 Vikings. I would take the Niners or the Cowboys over the Vikings. In my opinion, I just think the Vikings are. Dalvin Cook keeps scoring, but he's not doing much. Like, he's not really doing a lot. I mean, Justin Jefferson is obviously going nuclear, but they're, you know, if he's not going nuclear, like this week it was him and Adam Thielen. I mean, they just balled. But
at some point they're just going to choke. It's in the cards. It's just how it's written. Honestly,
well, the Bills got Cole Beasley back today, boys. So don't forget.
Yeah. Pay attention to my waiver wire.
You sick fuck.
But with Brock Purdy at the Niners, the playoffs are going to be a very bad time to be making rookie mistakes, and so that might hurt them.
I'd love to see the Chargers take that 7th spot from the Patriots.
Me too, man. So bad, and they were so hyped.
I think they're finally starting to click. That defense is looking really good. They're holding teams to really, you know, low totals.
They just got to stay healthy.
Yeah, Derwin James just missed this last game. The other guy that they signed is out for the year. The linebacker, one of the guys they picked up in the offseason. Yeah, Boza's out there, right?
Can you scroll down a little bit just so I can see who's on the bubble?
Yeah, let's go down to the boob, onto the boobie.
Who has a realistic shot of actually?
Who's on the boobie? Not the Browns.
The Seahawks definitely have a decent shot.
Dude, let's get the fucking Jaguars.
Yeah, so the Jaguars.
Fuck you. I don't want the
Jaguars.
Fuck
you. Me neither. So if I had to pick here right now, obviously, well, the Lions, I think we're all rooting for the Lions the hardest, I would assume.
Absolutely.
No, I'm rooting for Geno and the Seahawks, dude.
Okay, well, I agree. Geno. Well, I'm rooting. It sucks because, like, I fucking hate Seattle. And, like,
I did too, but
Geno.
I love Geno Smith.
But, like, I don't hate Detroit at all. I have nothing.
Love conquers hate, Nick. Love conquers hate.
I know, dude.
Lake Erie bros, dude. Always Bills, Lions.
Yeah, if Geno conquers Dan Campbell, I'm not going to be sad about it. But I am with you on the Chargers.
In this house, we believe love is love, science is real, and Geno Smith is a QB1.
Yeah, true that. Speaking of that type of shit, fucking little UFC side note, those fights over the weekend, that Ilya Tapura guy said he was gonna flatten Bryce Mitchell's head like as flat as he thought the earth was. And I was like, damn, God, that's a good one. That's a really good one. But
stinks.
The Raiders had a chance until they blew that game last week. I'd say their playoff chances are all but done now.
Yeah,
so
Browns are done, Steelers are done,
you know,
Colts are done.
The Jets lost a really tough game last week, and I don't know.
Mike White's hurt now, right?
Yeah,
are they saying Mike White's got some injury?
Yeah. Now they're rolling out Flacco.
God, I have to go back to Flacco.
Well, I mean,
you could do like the Colt McCoy. You could do a lot worse than Flacco.
You mean first ballot Hall of Famer, elite Joe Flacco? Is that who the fuck we're talking about?
Super Bowl
if we're talking,
champion,
you know, Delaware Athletic Hall of Fame.
Look, watch your mouth. But yeah, he's the GOAT. Bill, the AFC though, I'm just looking at the AFC. Like, I'm looking at the Eagles. I hope the Eagles can get there. But so if we had to pick a Super Bowl right now, I obviously Titans, Eagles for Jack. But like, if realistically right now, who do you think? Who do you have in the Super Bowl? Like, what's the Super Bowl? What do you want to see? Eagles, Bills?
Eagles, Chiefs, or Eagles, Bills would be my favorite watchability. I think either of those games would be really awesome. I think the best game would be Bills, Vikings, because somebody's streak is coming to an end, and that would alone have a lot of interest just in that game alone, which one of these perpetual losing franchises is actually going to win the Super Bowl. I think that would be a really cool one. Those are like my favorite picks, but probably also the most likely since they're the best teams. But I don't know, Stu, what do you think is the best Super Bowl matchup?
It's certainly the long shot, and it seems to be getting longer, but I'll stick with my preseason
What was your preseason one?
Bills Bucks.
Bills Bucks.
I will.
Well,
stick
I
with
mean,
that.
yeah. I mean, look, look, if they might have gotten the fuck beat out of them this last weekend, like, I mean, for sure, they are not good right now. But like, he showed the week before that too that like, you get into the playoffs and things starting to tighten up a little bit, and
When it
I mean,
matters
all
most,
he
he's
needs
there.
is a chance. He just needs a chance, and he's gonna more than likely pull it off.
I'm not gonna front like a giant Tom Brady fan. There was a long time where I didn't like the guy at all, but I'll give it up to him.
Okay,
He's
so that's
the
who you're
GOAT.
picking. So what would your, if you had to pick a Super Bowl this year, what two teams would you want to watch play each other in the Super Bowl this year?
The most entertaining game, I think, to me.
God, Vikings Bills would be so high scoring, man.
God, yeah, it really would. It would be good. Where is the Super Bowl this year? Is it indoors, outdoors?
It's in Arizona.
Okay,
That's right. Outdoor
Okay.
stadium. Ooh, that'd be fucking fun. Okay, so Bills. It's predictable, but Bills Eagles would be fucking
yeah,
fun.
it'd be fucking sick. I'm going Bills Eagles, Ravens Eagles, Bengals Eagles.
Just think about that air game, dude. Letting it fly in the
Could you imagine like a Lamar Super Bowl if Lamar got healthy and they made the Super Bowl, like just two guys fucking. I mean, then again, you could always get a shitty game from the Ravens. You never know, but like,
oh, the Ravens would like do the possession game and try to like it would be like a score of like 16-9.
yeah, it'd be
like
some
the
dumb
final.
fucking game. But yeah,
Yeah.
I bet like somebody like the Bengals or the Chiefs or the Bills, like you said, who are just gonna run it up, and like the Eagles. I mean, it'd be fun to see like just those.
I think the Eagles
juggernauts.
defense is too good for me to be like, this is going to be a great game because they could just show up and like shut some team out that day, just depending on who shows up. You know, I think like for me at least, I know that the Vikings can't stop a nosebleed, but they also score a ton of points, so that would be like, I'm locked in, guaranteed. And you
Yeah,
do
no,
that.
for
You
sure.
put a team like them, like the Chiefs, like Chiefs Vikings would even be good, but Bills Vikings, God, I'm like hard just thinking about that game.
Yeah, I mean,
It's
and
just
I don't hate the Vikings either. So like, I mean, I don't like them. I don't hate them. I'm indifferent on them, but you know,
I was indifferent up until the Minneapolis Miracle against the Saints, and
was
now it's
nuts.
just like fuck these guys.
yeah, dude. And then you got it. Yeah,
Now I just hate
Fucking
Stephon Diggs
yeah, and he's not even
and
there.
Case Keenum.
Where's Case?
Where is Case Keenum playing somewhere?
He's
He's
somebody's
backing up.
keeping the pace with Case. Front office.
What a guy.
Case Keenum.
We would have. I still stick by. We would have played better last year with Case Keenum than hurt
Buffalo.
Baker Mayfield. Buffalo. Yeah, Buffalo. That's right. He's a backup in Buffalo.
Wow.
Well, good shit. I mean, we'll see how this plays out. We got a couple weeks here. We're in what week? We're going into week 15.
15.
So,
Yeah.
well, let's see how it all shakes out. I think that's it. It's another episode of Pop Culture Rehab. You know, thank you guys for tuning in. This is week 26, Wednesday, 9 a.m. So we drop our episodes. So make sure you click the bell, click subscribe. Make sure you're thumbing up our YouTube videos, not just our asses. Make sure you thumb up our YouTube videos because that actually does help. I've been kind of looking into this type of shit, and like views and everything is cool. Subscribers and all that's just cool. Just hit the goddamn thumb. Even if you don't subscribe, that's the easiest thing. Just hit the thumb. So, but we're everywhere else you guys get your podcasts. So make sure you do that. We'll see you guys on Thursday for the Thursday night game. Who is, I don't know, but we'll find out. We'll post on our socials. We'll see you guys there. Have a good week. Kisses. We're out.
Mwah.